Over a century ago, St. Paul housewife Martha Nash wrote poetry to cope with her emotions during a 7-year confinement at the state hospital in St. Peter.
When her granddaughter and great-granddaughter recently found her writing, they decided it deserved more attention. Poems from the Asylum is an anthology of Nash's poems and research on what happened to her as a patient in the state hospital and afterward.
Janelle Molony, who edited the book of poems written by her great-grandmother, is joining us now via Zoom. Janelle, hello, good morning. Thanks for being with us.
Hi, Megan. Hi, Chris. It's great to be here with you.
So tell us about these poems. I mean, how did you discover these poems? Where did you find them? Tell me about that.
Great question. So in 2016, my grandfather passed this notebook. It's a dirty old ragged notebook, and I've got a copy here, or that's actually the original. And he passed this down to my mom, who passed it to me, like, hey, here's some poems. And my grandfather didn't really talk about his mom much because she was this crazy lady, deluded, delusional, and basically created her to be a laughingstock in the family and the community. And it didn't help that there were some news media interviews that added to that perception. So I created this little photo album for him, and I illustrated the poems. Hey, look, I found this lady who she mentioned. Hey, look, I found a picture of whatever this thing that she mentioned, and he kind of dismissed it. And we never really connected after that. He did pass a couple years ago. And in the pandemic, I picked up these poems again and decided to dig a little deeper. And in the research, we found that not only was she mocked in the media in 1934 after she was released, but we were able to find out that she had a legit medical condition. Now, granted, it was super strange at that time, and we were able to vindicate her through her poetry and through her confessions in the news media and declare her sane. So that was a really exciting thing for me to do by analyzing those poems, probably in the most obsessive summer research project that I could rope my mom into helping me with this past year. But we were able to go ahead and complete that, crack the case, and give her a better, bigger, stronger platform to speak on mental health reforms, to advocate for other patients who were there with her, and to remind people that even if she had a mental illness, she was still quite intelligent. She was very, I would say, effective in communication, and she did represent the family well. And now we have a lineage of not only her being a poet, but my grandmother being a poet, and me as well, too. So I like that kinship with her.
Well, obviously we've learned so much about mental illness over the years, and certainly a whole lot since 1920. Why did you think, by taking a look at this, beyond sort of satisfying your own curiosity inside your family, why did you decide that this would be something that the public might be interested in, and then go ahead and went forward with the process of publishing them?
Well, there is the element of this being a little taboo or strange. So she does have this claim of not eating or drinking for 7 years. That just had to be cleared up. So part of the process was figuring out what that could have been. Was it, as some people believe, some kind of breatharian manifesto that she was following, which is this very strange diet lifestyle? Or was it something like a curse that she had mentioned in her poetry? Was there something supernatural happening? I don't believe that she actually truly fasted or abstained from consuming calories for 7 years. That to me is very impossible. But it does draw attention to how people hear words, misrepresent them, misunderstand them, and jump to conclusions. So one of the things that fascinated me was being able to take 100 years of medical case studies and backtrack through them to pinpoint the cause of her condition. And it turns out this is a medical condition that lots of people have to this day. Some of them do suffer permanent damage because of this condition. And so this brings a little light to that condition and how serious it can be, how serious it was taken way back when, but also how it needs to be given a little bit more attention to this day.
It's clearly something that you are very passionate about, these poems. We're about out of time, but I'm curious what you're hoping that others will get when they read this book of these poems that you've now compiled.
I'm hoping that they will enjoy the skepticism, the mystery, and the perhaps just a little bit of fun, because we do poke into that whole, torture chambers and the dark secrets of the asylum. We do poke into that a little bit, and we have fun with it, and we allow people to make their own conclusions with the poetry. But really, if they want to sink their teeth into it, I would encourage them to take a visit to the St. Peter State Hospital Museum. They have tours and very well-educated docents who actually contributed to the material and advised on it, and they can go into further detail on a tour.
Fantastic. Janelle, thank you so much. I mean, this is really interesting, and I know you overnighted a copy to us, so I can't wait to take a look at it. Poems from the Asylum is now available at the St. Peter Hospital Museum, the Minneapolis Library, the Minnesota Genealogical Library, and on Amazon.